Well, hey there, YouTube friends, and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2, where today we're taking a look at Update 6, which is out now. From souvenir shops to on-ride photos and 2 new themes, there's a lot in this update. And for me, it kind of makes Planet Coaster 2 the game I always kind of hoped it would be at launch. So join me as we build something to showcase the new features of this update, and if you stick around until the end of the video, there will be a sneak peek of my new project that I've been diligently working on behind the scenes with a friend. So, with that out of the way, I'm Mass Bandit, this is Planet Coaster 2, and I'm so very glad you're here. Let's jump in. So, while we have a time lapse here, let's first mention what we're building. We are going to be building a souvenir shop because that's one of the big things with the new update. We're going to be building a custom gift shop called Bro Depot for the Bro Nation folk, and it's a super fun souvenir shop, and let's talk a little bit about what we've got going on in the update while we build this in the background. So, first off, big shout out to Frontier for providing early access to Update 6, much appreciated, and also a big shout out to Frontier for just kind of putting boots on the ground and working diligently to be frank, dig themselves out of the hole they put themselves in back when the game was launched. I think most people were disappointed with the launch of the game, especially if you were a veteran of Planet Coaster 1. You were expecting more and better things. I know I was, and I think now is the time where we can say, hey, good job, Frontier. At the very least, thank you for being clear, for telling us what you were planning, for giving us a roadmap, and for sticking to it more than anything else. And I think that's a really big one. You can promise whatever you want, but if you don't hit your targets, then hey. But they have. They've done exactly what they set out to do, and I think the game is in an absolutely really interesting and fun state for both creative players and, I mean, I can't talk because I don't do a lot of it, but for simulation, there's a lot more there than there was at the beginning. So thank you, Frontier, for doing what you said you were going to do. I do appreciate it. And like I said, now the game feels like it should have, like it probably was what they maybe wanted, or at least what it should have been at launch. The last 2 to 3 updates specifically, they've done a good job to breathe life back into the game. So if you've put the game down, or if you're hesitant to get it, I think now might be a good time to look at it. I think it's on sale as of this recording for this Team Summer sale. I think Planet Coaster 2 is on sale. Might not be a bad time to pick it up. I cannot recommend that DLC. I don't think you're getting enough bang for your buck there, but base game I think is pretty good. At this point, it might behoove you if you are curious, especially now that I think it's on sale. Don't quote me on that. It might not be. I'm not sure. So, what's new in this update? Well, first, 2 old themes are back. We have the pirate and the fantasy theme, and oh my goodness, I kind of forgot how important they are. There's so many useful pieces. A lot of these themes, when we look at them, we're like, oh, this one, I do all those pieces I'll never use. But every one of them has at least 2 dozen pieces that are invaluable. They go beyond their theme set. Of course, we have the highly decorated, highly themed pieces, and that's great. But there are lots of really good things that aren't like that in this update. New wall sets that are sorely messing. Some rough stone walls are just, oh, so good. Lots of new windows, lots of new doors, lots of new lighting. Lots of things that I think go beyond the 2 themes and kind of transcend into lots of different styles. So those pieces back are really good, and even better now that they scale. Most of the pieces, obviously, except for the gridded ones, are scalable, and that just helps add to the variety of what we're able to do, and that's super great as well. And of course, big shout, the Archer is back. The Archer for scale is back, everyone. Shout out for the Archer. That is our go-to OG scale buddy, Mr. Archer. So you will see in the build here that we are going to make an ode to the Archer at our Bro Nation Depot, because it's just so great to have him back, you know? Speaking of, souvenir shops are new in this update, and oh my god, they're great. I really like them. I didn't think I was going to be as into both restaurants and souvenir shops as I am, but let me tell you what, they are a bit of terrific. They really help add to the charm of the game that I have felt was lacking. Planet Coaster 1, so charming. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, so charming. Planet Coaster 2 felt kind of soulless. The guests just kind of wandered or stood or didn't do a lot. And so with these last couple updates now, watching your guests walk in and grab their things and walk out with their little bags, it's really nice. I think it's great. It's so good. I like that they're pretty much customize it. You can put the different, there's a bunch of different types of shelves and other gift item units, and you can put them wherever you want, and you can recolor them, and you can pick what you want them to sell, and those are all great. I love that customizability. They're also pretty intuitive. Like, as someone who didn't play with gift shops, because in Zoo, I kind of backed out of Zoo before we got to there. I figured it out. It wasn't overly complicated to figure out, and if you don't want to be meticulous with your planning of what they sell, it'll do it for you, and that's super cool too. And I also love, as a detailer and a sandbox player, every gift shop thing that is sellable at the souvenir shop is also a scenery piece. So you can clutter up your shelves, you can add these gift items anywhere you want in your park, and that is super great for the flexibility and customization that a lot of us are all about when it comes to the Planet Coaster game. So really excited for souvenir shops, and that's why I decided to build one for this video. In addition, with the souvenir shops, we also now have on-ride photos and on-ride photo shops, and I can't believe they went as hard as they did on this. It's incredible. The way it works is you just add a trigger point to your coaster. It's a specific trigger point that then populates a little camera next to your track. The camera does hover, so it's a little wonky. You're going to have to figure out how you want to attach it or what you want to do with it, which is great for customizers. I'm just glad it's that and not some big, stupid, singular track piece that has no flexibility. By making it a trigger point, you can put it on any part of your coaster, and it's really, really easy to do. And I also like that it's connected to the excitement, fear, and nausea of your coaster. You can slide and see what those ratings are for your coaster, so you do have to test your coaster first. And if you can get them all in the green, it will mean a higher likelihood that your guests will actually purchase the picture. And that's great. That's really fun. You can then attach the camera to a ride photo kiosk, and they'll start selling the pictures that they take as you ride by. And you can even attach the photo op to billboards, and those billboards will populate with pictures that are taken on the ride, and they refresh every time a new train goes by. It's really, this is something incredible. I don't think I've seen this. This wasn't in Planet Coaster 1, and I can't remember if it was in Planet Coaster 2. I mean, I know they had photo booths, but it wasn't like this. This is really a step above. This is, I think, the first thing that feels truly sequel. You know, this is the first thing that hasn't shown up in a Planet game yet, and that's great. Souvenir shops, they're in Planet Zoo. Restaurants are in Planet Zoo, and it's great to have them in Planet Coaster, don't get me wrong, but these on-ride photos, I think, is our first brand new feature to the Planet games, and they're really good. They really knocked it out of the park. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. So overall, my impressions on this build on this update are rock solid. I'm very pleased with it. I'm a little bummed we didn't get more than a "we'll be back eventually" at the end of the recent Unlocked, but I get it. They've been working really, really hard. And if I had to guess, probably September or October with a DLC announcement would be my guess. And I'm also going to go on a limb and say we're probably going to now be moving to quarterly updates with free content with the DLC attached, like they do for Zoo, which makes sense to me. And so with all that, now that we're I think a lot of people are kind of assuming DLC's coming out. So if that's the case, I'm going to ask y'all, what's a DLC that you wish to see in this game? For me, I want to see continuing to add new mechanics and new systems that haven't been in the previous Planet games. I want to see midway games maybe, or parades, modular hotel rooms, and so like modular hotels, mini golf, simulation features for parking, things that I think would help both creative and simulation players get the most bang for their buck in a true sequel that is Planet Coaster 2. So it's enough talking about stuff that's not on the screen. Let's do a quick just rundown of what this build is all about as this time lapse is winding down. This build, this gift shop is lightly inspired by the main gift shop at Hershey Park, right near the entrance, their new revamped entrance. I did a quick search for gift shop interiors, and I really liked this industrial vibe. So lots of brick, lots of iron, stuff like that. We're going to be adding cornice to the building, brick cornice to the building, which is a technique that I really enjoy doing. So yeah, the industrial vibe I think fits really, really well because it's sort of neutral and it allows all of the bright colors of the Bronation colors, the pink and the blue and the yellow, to really pop. And I didn't want to oversaturate it with a highly themed building. So I like this kind of warehouse vibe. The shop pieces are really great. I mean, I put a ton of them in, and I think one counter can hold up to 40 different shelving units. So like, go ham, go bananas with it. And so I really did. I really loaded it up. And just so you know, I did not customize what we are selling in these shops. I just kind of let it auto-populated, which works for me at this point because I just wanted to show you what these look like. And speaking of, let's slow the video down now and let's take a look at the gift shop here in real time where we're at currently, and we'll get you all caught up. So here you can see the progress we've made in real time, and here you can see what the gift shops actually look like in real time. They're really nice. I'm really happy with how the curved ones go around the pillar. I think that turned out quite nice. And like I said, I just attached them to the shops here, and then they picked what they were selling, and it's good enough for me. Like if I in projects where like I'm going to really take my time, I'm going to obviously go in and make sure that it makes sense to me. But for the purposes of this video, this is pretty good. So this is what an average randomization will do for you. Check out these postcards. I think they're fantastic. I love these so much. The umbrella stands are cool. I'd love posters. If we could get a poster thing to sell, that would be so cool. We got puzzles and hats and mugs, and then there's themed hats and plushies. There's just all kinds of good stuff. The t-shirts back here are great. Would love them to be recolorable. Nothing here is recolorable. That's one of the only issues. They are all what you see is what you get. You can recolor the shelving units, but not the items themselves, which is a little unfortunate, but overall really nice. And I love this wood texture. But you can see here the building. I took off the top part here. I didn't like after I started building, I'm like, no, we're gonna go with flat roofs. And you can see we're starting to work on what's going to be some cornice up here. We'll add some detail. I'm just kind of fleshing out the sides here, what it's gonna look like. I like the two sized roofs higher in this middle with the shorter kind of wings. I think that's gonna look pretty cool. This is gonna be the exit from a coaster we're going to build, just so I can show you the on-ride photos as well. So this is what y'all are going to see until we actually, I think, just about finish the building. So let's jump ahead in time with the magic of editing and see where we are at. You can always tell what kind of groove I'm in with how much progress there is in between updates, and we went from a shell of a building to the entire thing done. Here is the Bronation Depot. These are some awesome just basic scenery pieces that come standard with the game. I believe they're in the wall section, like a wall decoration. You can find these along with a bunch of other really cool shapes. Shout out to Mineral Junction for kind of showing off, not these particular shapes, but just that they are very versatile. And so by coloring them and nesting them together here, we get this really cool pattern, which adds some vibrancy to an otherwise brown building. Through some street trees here, I do believe these are birch, small birch. I like the small birch for the street trees here. And since we're on a tropical map, I did put a palm tree in. But you can see here's the Bronation logo, Bronation Depot. It sells gifts and souvenirs. And if you're a fan of Bronation, of course you know it also serves fudge from the Bro Coaster days. And as you come in, it says BN. Oh my God, so great. And here we have our finished interior. Found these awesome fans on the workshop, and they are by the creator who's coming up on the screen right now. And you can see what this now looks like. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm very pleased with it as a kind of to show off the update thing. I think it's really good. You can see here we've got some inside jokes from the Bro Coaster series. Cacao and Kinderbots, kind of nods to individuals who have helped in Bro Coaster. Kinderbots and minerals and trillions of rubles and so, some inside jokes from the cold opens and Connie Soaps, and then that's a reference to Ryan, and then Wings and Strings, who helped us do all that stuff in Planet Coaster 1, the backstage area and all the train stuff. So yeah, just an homage to our community, just a hey community, you're pretty great. And so this is for all our Bronation members. And once again, if you want to be a member of Bronation, there is a link in the description to hop on the server and come join us. Share your Planet Coaster creations, your Planet Zoo creations, your Architect creations, your other game creations. We're all about creativity. Share your arts and crafts. We are a very creative crew. through, and we are here for you. So with that being said, I love how basic this looks. Like it belongs at the corner of a strip center. But you can see here, these pieces here are wooden pieces from the Western set, and they go so well here. When you color them correctly, they go really, really well to create this cornice look, strip center, strip mall vibe. So now that the roof is in place and things are looking good, let's flesh things out. Let's build a coaster, and I'll show you how the gift shop things work. Please don't judge my coaster skills. If you can't tell, I got into it. I let peeps in, I put a couple rides down. Once I built the coaster, I was like, well, let's put some other things in so we can get some people in here and get them to stay in here so they don't complain all the time. So I added, actually, if you haven't seen this video, I added my Brobacue QSR building. 3 different Brobacues, 3 different ways. It's a restaurant for you, or quick service for you, or a cart. All 3 are available up on the workshop. You can scope those out and include them in your project. So we added a Brobacue, which doesn't fit our theme at all, and that's fine. We added a couple of the in-game rides themed. Again, they don't really fit, but they're fine. I like them. They're really cool. But like, yeah, I have not really done a lot with this yet. I need to start thinking about customizing flats. That's kind of one of the big things of the sequel. But anyway, let's look at this behemoth. This is my rough and ready, I mean, I threw this together in a few minutes. This is my rough and ready hyper coaster that I built. It's a pretty basic out and back layout with a little bit of twisty turnies at the end. I think it's pretty good, and I've used a lot of the pirate scenery here to really, and again, just kind of a rough and ready to show you a bit. Don't look at the paths. This is all for just, hey, look at the scenery. Don't look at the paths. Here's how some of that Planet Coaster 1 scenery looks in Planet Coaster 2. I do like the sandstone wall set. I am glad we have it back. The pirate bell and all that is back, and that's super cool to see as well. And I think at the end of the episode here, we'll add a POV of my goofy hypercoaster. Hopefully you will enjoy it. All of this was done with the scenery brush, just spamming some of the pre-made scenery brush options. You know, for people who are not into placing every rock and tree in detail, it's a really versatile tool. I really like it. So I hope none of you that watch me are like, ever should be discouraged by what I'm doing. I want you to feel like you can do it too. And even if not, just spam use workshop items and spam the trees. That goes such a long way. Like, doesn't that look, it looks really good from this angle. And oh, big shout to this new fence that's back. That's super cool. Pirate fence is back, and that's great. So yeah, we've just, again, it's basic. I didn't do any custom supporting. I didn't even bother changing out like different areas of supports just because it wasn't functioning right, because I used longer I'm not going to get into it. It was a pain. The main point here that I wanted to show you is here it is. Here is the camera. You can see what it looks like. This is the on-ride photo camera, and it just floats. Like, it's there. That's what it actually looks like. I built this goofy little thing, and here they come. Listen. It flashes and it makes the noise. Like, it's such a silly thing to get excited about, but it's so cool. And it just adds that realism, and I can't wait to get better at how do you attach it. This was just a simple thing, so it wasn't floating in the air, but it's so fun. So once you get off the coaster, you head down this way. And let's go into first person here, and you walk at my highly unthemed thing, and you're so excited because you just had a great ride on the coaster, and here it is. Here is our coaster kiosk. I have put the billboards in, and check it out. Look at that. It just adds such vibrancy and life, and to see people come out of the exit of the ride and show up and purchase. Are you going to buy something? Yes! Look how excited they are. They buy their things. I love how they lean on the counter. It's these little things that just make it so good. And you can shrink down the 1 meter screens and add them here. And I can't, again, rough and ready. I know people who are there, they just refreshed. People who are so into this are going to do amazing things to cover this all up and make it look great. But when I turn around here and you see guests walking through and you see people buying things, as no one is in here, but whenever that does, it just works so well. And this goofy shark is coming in now, and it's just, it feels so good. I really, really, really enjoy it. So I hope you're excited to play with the new gift shops and the new on-ride photo options. They are so fun. Highly recommend them. Bro Nation, Bro Depot gift shop will be put on the workshop. It should be there now. It will be on the workshop for you to include in your projects if you want. You can do whatever you want, of course, to swap it out. Just don't re-upload it, please, as your own. That's kind of... But you can do whatever. You can modify it however you want. I don't care. That's why I put it on the workshop. I put it on there for you to use. Now, one thing we haven't really looked at, minus our archers, is the fantasy set. And there's a reason why I specifically didn't do that. My buddy and I have been working on a project behind the scenes. I posted something on YouTube posts a while ago, and so I want to show you the very first look at the new project that I am working on. And I'm just going to bring you right into the end of it, to the end of my working, and I'm going to show you how I incorporated some of the fantasy pieces into our new project. So I hope you're excited for that. So here we are in our unnamed fantasy project that is going to be heavily inspired and themed to Dungeons and Dragons. If you've been with me on the channel for any amount of time, you know that I love Planet Coaster 2, but I also love Dungeons and Dragons. And so why not combine the two into a major, highly themed project? And if you don't recognize this, this is my representation of Baldur's Gate, an actual location in one of the D&D settings. Does not use any fantasy pieces. This was all built way before the fantasy set was released. However, if we were to go through the gate into the main entrance, you will see this is what I've been working on. I just want to give you a real quick sneak peek. And don't worry, we'll go through all of this in great detail. So here, just about 99% of this was built without this fantasy set. The only parts that are fantasy are actually the font. We have our old fantasy fonts back, and obviously that little symbol for the restroom. Everything else that you are seeing, everything else you are seeing is Viking and in-game, base launch, those four main themes of Planet Coaster. Oh, and Western and stuff, but no fantasy pieces here. And these are our restrooms for our new fantasy-themed park, and I'm very excited. I did a couple concepts that aren't in the park yet, but the main thing I want to share with you is here's a look at a lot of the Western pieces. This is going to be our Haste Coffee Company. It's going to be right when you walk into the park, a coffee shop, and just about most things in this build are built with the fantasy theme. I really did try really hard. We have the plaster lime walls. I don't know if they were in the base game, but I noticed them. I think they are with the fantasy set. So these walls here with the nice textures on them, they are now back. And these lovely walls, the dormer windows, and we have the lovely window sets, and I love the windows with the hearts and the cottage. I think it's the cottage scene, or I forget what it's called. There's two. There's the castle, and then there's like the cottage, and those are the two main themes. So here is our Haste Coffee building, really working on detail, high themed, high budget, something a little different than what I've done in the past. And I just thought I would take a second here to give you a little taste of what you can expect from me. This is why I haven't been doing a lot. My friend and I have been working quite a bit on this project, and you can't see, but on the other side of those trees is something really cool that I can't wait to show you. So, and over here, and I'll give you a hint. I'm excited to see what my friend does with this. And that's all I'm going to say, because he's really good at these. And if you've watched me before, you probably now know who I'm talking about. So do not get the wrong thing. This is not Bro Coaster. This is just something my friend and I, and maybe a few of the bros, are going to be doing. This is just for funsies. It is not a Bro Coaster series, not officially. So it's just a fun thing that my buddy and I have been wanting to do for a long time, and now we're finally gonna try it out here in Planet Coaster 2. So I hope you're very excited. I know I am, and this is where we are going to leave it today. So with all that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, I know it was kind of long and all over the place, hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't, so you don't miss out this series or anything else coming on the channel. I've gotten lots of great feedback about Beginner Heights. I'm going to be bringing that back. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Have a great day, great night, great whatever, and I'll see all of you for the next episode of Planet Coaster 2. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.